forewarns, it's a sound system bang.
I am absolutely buzzing. We're taking it back to the old school today. What better way than this classic CDA 9812RB from Alpine into my 92 Nova GSI. Let's go. There'll be a couple of classic lads, car audio lads, not necessarily modification lads, who will be, why not the 7939 or the 7944 or blah blah blah. Right, I get it, but those decks were new when this car was new. Alright, yeah, so I thought I'd explain why it isn't a Nakamichi, why it isn't a Denon, why it's not a new Bremen. Alright, my opinion of the new Bremen is for a different video. Functionally it's great and sound very good. This does sound good. This was, in my opinion, the last of the early generation of radios, okay, when functionality started to take over. Okay, so convenience took over quality, which we're all used to now. Convenience has its has more of a place in the world than quality, unfortunately. So yeah, I love this deck, but I am, you know, I'm going to keep it as old school as I can. Like I say, it's every time I turn this car on and this radio turns on, that's where the money goes, isn't it? You know, I am going to fit a Belkin streamer to this. I'm going to use a step down converter because this is a 5-volt product, so from 12 to 5 volts, and then we're going to go in via AI net. I've got an AI net to RCA converter, because these are Alpine sort of started proprietary tech around this time using AI net and stuff, maybe slightly earlier than this. So I can stream into the auxiliary input on the radio, use my phone. I'll put a charger somewhere else. I don't use the car often enough to warrant having a phone charger in it really, but you know, we'll see. If I can hide something away completely, then great, but we will be able to do that. One thing I can't do now is, bear with me, one thing I won't be able to do is play tapes. Alright, so I'm going to have to figure something out, because this car is almost specifically for tapes. Let me show you why. Give me a second. These are a handful of my collection of tape packs. Let me show you a complete one, if I've got one. Yeah, so they're tape packs, alright? You're probably watching this, you're too young to understand what these are, but nights and events that, say, promoters now put on, they used to be recorded onto tape, and then record shops, Seeds in Birkenhead was my record shop, they would then sell them tape packs to people like us who were a little too young to go to those events. When I was younger and we would be out in these with, say, older lads or whatever, they would be playing tape via a tape, usually a Blaupunk, an original one, and it sounded good, to some shelf-mounted speakers and stuff like that, or even home audio speakers just on the back seat. But it was always tape. It always had that woolly, fluffy, soft bass and surprising SQ from a tape. And this thing went everywhere with me. School blazer, headphones up the sleeve in class, like everywhere with me. It was so important to me. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I get that to play in here for just for those times, the hour a year that they make it listen to, you know. Let's go anyway. All right, too much gassing. First thing I need to do is get this radio out. Alpine haven't changed their cage for their single DIN units for the past 20 years. You just push up on the little locking tab on the edge of the cage, and the whole unit pops out. Now this should be really tidy behind here because it's a fantastic car. Nothing's missing at all. But these radios are extremely tight. Oh, and that is very important. It's a male FM connector. Old Vauxhalls all had a 90-degree female. I'm going to need to put this ISO onto that Alpine unit because the earth is missing, and it's going to bug me if I hardwire the ground and it isn't in the ISO. But yeah, that's out. Now I need to solder in a cigarette lighter, basically a 12 volt female cigarette lighter, so I can plug that step down module in. It's on, right. This one-handed techers, you don't get this on your high street.
Hence, Jamie explained how, despite being on a 28-foot boat,
the radio.
they were sometimes late for
Seems
work.
on this CD.
Pretty much non.
I don't know what this is. Who's that? J&E?
I got an iPhone 4S with a code light.
Yeah, that's J&E.
I showed you on the track I did with Joe.
Shut your mouth! It's a banging little car, this. It sounds great. Auxiliary. Play. Volume up. Here we go, here we go.
I feel good. I feel good, yes, wonderful good. Anytime I come in and
Mate.
in my neighborhood, I feel good.
I don't know why I'm surprised. Yes. Right. Now this goes in there. So happy.
Like you all in the mix, like you got some shit popping off. I got some models that you see. Debate, we've got a voice note.
Yeah, so I was there for a job interview.
Under its seats has two focal, they're designed as little subwoofers for cars that don't have space or systems where you don't want to sacrifice any boot space. They're called iSub twins. I use them as mid bases. I always have done them. They're not proper subs, but they're great at little bit of dedicated kick in a car where you haven't got a mid base location anywhere. They've just come back in, so we bought a few sets while we can. And I'm going to fit that mid bass back in now, which means I can start running my mid bass in stereo again, because I've got one in there at the moment that's running mono. So yeah, let's have a look at that now. This is an iSub twin. Alright, boom, sausage sub. It's like a little long sausage. I'll see if I can put a picture of the actual drive unit. It's pretty cool, to be fair. It's got stacked magnets and stuff. It's quite hench. It's plastic. Probably damp this if we were fitting it in someone else's car. For me, there's space underneath my seats to have them slide in. I put Velcro pads on the bottom and I just stick it down underneath the floor. And this is your input speaker terminal off of 1953. Let's go. Right, now this new head unit is done exactly what I thought it was going to do. Nice high voltage pre-outs. It's like we're running a line driver. It's effectively the same thing, you know. We've got nice higher voltage pre-outs now than we had previously. But what I want to do, because of a couple of compromises I had to make earlier on in this system, is I've just refitted the right mid bass. I now need to change them back over because I was running my left mid bass in mono just temporarily, just for a little bit of mid bass. I need my phone. So you see there, I just put the ignition on, radio turned on. We're in AUX because I've turned AUX on from the main menu. I should now, you can hear a bit of noise actually in the background. It's probably coming from that streamer looking for something. I can now press this, that noise goes away because it's not searching. Scooch down, press that. Way we down. It's so loud, this car, just from simple electronics. Exactly how it should be. I might have to turn it down a little bit because now we've got loads of beans coming out of the radio. Now we've got loads of voltage there. We might have a little bit too much gain on, so yeah. Don't want to get a strike for this. So. Power this up. Now this is probably the most high-tech part of this system. It does have a DSP amp. I wasn't about to let the locations of the drivers in this car go running things for me. I still needed it to sound good, you know. So this has an audio control D6.1200, I think, DSP amp, wicked piece of kit, and an LC800, I think, on the bass. A real simple JLWO in a wedge box, because when I designed the system, I wanted it to be as it would have been really when I built my first one, which was just a big sub, big amps, 9812RB. Didn't have Melee Legends, they didn't exist, but yeah, I wanted to use brands as well that were around at the time, nothing kind of too new, you know. Done. I've got to go. I'm so happy. Take it easy.